we've talked about Mortal Kombat's beginnings in life. Its rise to fame in the early 90s for ripping dudes' hearts out, and its cinematic adventures. But as the years went on, MK's popularity faltered along with the majority of fighting games. And that was due to one major unavoidable factor: the Z-axis! Yes, in the late 90s, the 3D craze was in full force, ditching those disgusting pixels for some sweet, sweet polygon. Look, it was new at the time, okay? And so everyone had to get in, including fighting games. Some of them found success. Games like Virtua Fighter and Tekken laid the groundwork of what a 3D fighter should be, and Dead or Alive came in to go, yeah, and you can touch yourself while playing it too. But not everyone was able to get through unscathed, and Mortal Kombat was no different. Its 3D transition was not their best. Their first outing looked like this, while at the same time introducing us to characters like Bo Raicho, who is just fat and gross. That is his gimmick. They also introduced Cobra, who is just a shittier Ken. And let's not forget to mention everyone's favorite fighter, Suhao. Everyone's favorite! And it was here where the IP seemed to just become stagnant. Sure, there were titles that sold well, but the popularity it once heralded back in the 90s was long gone at this point. And not even doing a Marvel vs. Capcom with DC heroes could save it. It was rough. But then this one little indie game called Street Fighter 4 came out. That game breathed new air into the fighting game scene, and it brought everyone back on board to the genre. And much like a phoenix from the ashes, Mortal Kombat returned in all its glory, with its most influential title to date, known as Mortal Kombat. Or Mortal Kombat 9, not to get confused with the original. Mortal Kombat 9 was the reboot the series really needed. Gone was the 3D arenas and instead went back to basics with a 2.5D approach, while at the same time only using characters from the 3 original games with a few outliers, just ramping up the violence to insane degrees, adding a gripping story mode that many others would try to copy and they couldn't. And this title even decided to add guest characters, like adding pre-Grumpy Dad Kratos, and of course in the end adding everyone's favorite wisecracker, Freddy fucking Krueger. And since then, the MK brand has been going strong, upping the violence in each entry, continuing a story that, well, some stuff had to take a dive. But man, those guest characters just go hard! You can now live out the fantasy of arresting the Joker as RoboCop, and figure out who would win in a fight between the Predator and Jason Voorhees. Trick question, the answer is Jason. Because let's be real, the only thing that can kill Jason Voorhees is legal issues. Which brings us to the present, for at the time of this recording, we are anticipating the release of Mortal Kombat 1. Or Mortal Kombat 12, not to be confused with the original, which is set to shake up the status quo, add new mechanics, and even more guest characters like Two Mean Supermen and Peacemaker. I am very excited for Peacemaker. But that's not what we're talking about, is it? Nah, instead we're going to be talking about something that's a little bit more, in tune with this whole marathon thing that I'm doing. Because of the return of such a legendary IP, comes the revival of one of its most important spin-offs, the silver screen adaptation. And today, we're going to be looking at that revival, known simply as Mortal Kombat. Or Mortal Kombat 2021. Can we stop doing that? This film is the most recent entry in our little marathon as of late. That means to finally bring the spirit of Mortal Kombat to the films. And by that I mean they added the gory violence, cause this is a rated R film. which you can kind of do with PG-13 now? I don't know, the rating system is whack. But does it live up to the original's legacy? Well, hi there guys, it's me, a DavKav, your favorite schmuck, and I want to welcome you all back to Live Action Fighting Game Movie Marathon 2. Insert title here. And today, we're just gonna dive into the last Mortal Kombat film of this marathon, as guys, I want to talk to you all about Mortal Kombat 2021. We start our film in feudal Japan, as we see a day in the life of family man Hanzo Hasashi, aka
Scorpion.
So he's just enjoying everything he has with his wife, son, and baby daughter. And you know, when things are going alright like this, that means one thing. Ninjas. Specifically the Lin Kuei, led by Bi-Han, who threatens the wife and son for Hanzo's whereabouts. Meanwhile, we see Hanzo is out getting water from a well before hearing distant screams and goes to find that his wife and son have been frozen to death. Wow, for such a loving wife, she certainly does give her husband the cold shoulder. That woman is fucking dead. So Hanzo now mourns the loss of his family. Then, ninjas. Ninjas everywhere. Which then leads us into the fighting, which, Yeah, I can see where the R comes in. Ooh! Oh, this is gonna be fun. Not to mention that this fight scene really makes Hanzo look cool, and it makes me hyped to see more of him. Can't wait for that! So, after murdering everyone, Hanzo goes out to track down Bi-Han for revenge. And when they finally meet face to face, Hanzo gives Bi-Han a nasty scar, and the two do battle. But sadly, Bi-Han gets the upper hand and murders Hanzo, while speaking perfect English, that still gets translated, mind you.
For the Lin Kuei.
As Hanzo is on his last breath, reaching out to the sounds of crying, as he falls and burns away, hinting at his fate to come as we see his daughter. Oh yeah, remember? The dude's got a daughter? They hid him under the floorboards, which was hard to remember after all the murdering going on, not gonna lie. Then, like a bolt of an obvious pun here, Raiden arrives and proceeds to take both the baby and Hanzo's spear and whisks them away as we get our title screen and text that explains the tournament to us. You know, you could have had someone tell us this organically. That's okay, we don't get to the tournament in this film. But now we cut to our main protagonist, the descendant of Hanzo Hasashi, Cole Young. Wait, who? Yes, our main character, the one that is headlining this entire film, only came from this film, and only exists to be an audience surrogate. I mean, Liu Kang would have been a good choice too, but I am honestly convinced at this point that NetherRealm Studios really hates Liu Kang being the main character of the series. Our main lead is a down-on-his-luck MMA fighter who tends to get beaten up in his own matches, and his personality is... well, you know that one Street Fighter meme where it goes,
"Hey there, everybody. This is Ryu from Streets."
But replace the things that he likes, such as dirt, stale bread, and the newest season of The Simpsons, with family, and yeah, there's nothing much else except that he likes his family. And that's basically Cole Young. So Cole is taking a quick match for $200 before we then cut to Outworld with Shang Tsung and Bi-Han, who is wearing a mask that makes his head look slightly too big. As Shang Tsung tells the ninja that they have the possibility of losing the tournament, and their quest to conquer Earthrealm due to the fact that the descendant of Hanzo is still alive. And he sends Bi-Han out to kill him. But not before Bi-Han just flat out says,
I am no longer Bi-Han. I am Sub-Zero.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that is his name. But did he really have to do it in a way like that? It's kind of like if this happened. Lu Bu! That is my name no longer. I have gone beyond that title and have ascended to greater status. From now on, I am the Shockmaster! I don't know where this bit is going anymore. So we then cut back to Cole after the match, hanging out with his daughter before Jax shows up, and shows some interest in his very MK logo-shaped birthmark that he has. Sure, let's just roll with that. Then Cole leaves with his daughter to go get dinner with his wife. Cue in Sub-Zero, who goes from 10 to 100 in the intimidation factor as he launches a foray of icicles down upon the family. This then leads to Jax swooping in and driving the three to safety. Jax then shows that he also has an MK mark and states that they were both chosen to fight in something that they don't know of yet. Then Sub-Zero pulls a Michael Myers and teleports in front of them. Jax then tells Cole to get out of there and to find Sonya Blade before he goes out to chase the Ice Ninja into an empty building. So now they fight. And by fight, I mean Sub-Zero brutalizes Jax before freezing his arms off and ripping them out of the socket. Ow! That looks bad. You okay, man? You want a Band-Aid? I got this Bubble Guppies one if you want it. So the family escapes back home and Cole decides to look for this Sonya Blade for answers. As we then cut to Outworld with Shang Tsung telling the aggressively fan-favorite character Melina that since they're still surviving combatants, they should send out Reptile to find and kill the rest. Then we cut back to Cole searching the place that he was told to go and gets jumped by Sonya. Then after a bit of a scuffle, she then brings Cole into her secret bunker, where she then proceeds to info dump about the dragon marks, which apparently reference a great interdimensional tournament and how multiple people throughout history have had this mark, which in turn gives them superpowers. And it's also found out that this tournament is simply known as Mortal Kombat. With a backwards L, K, and B. They are very adamant about that fact. Then Cole gets a scorpion jump scare before we meet the only character that likes to have fun in this film, Kano. It turns out Kano also has a mark, but this is only because he killed a man with one, which by the logic of this universe made it transfer onto him. Hope you guys are paying attention, because this will be important later. Also, Sonya doesn't have a mark, which is also important. I hope you're taking notes, guys. This will be on the test. But now that the exposition is out of the way, we can get on to Ridley Scott's Alien. I mean the Predator. I mean Reptile. So right now it's basically a bug hunt with Kano getting the short end multiple times before he gets free and proceeds to fight Reptile, in which the fight ends with Kano doing the Kano thing and ripping out his goddamn heart. I still got that Band-Aid. You like bubble guppies? So now with Reptile dead, the team learns from Kano about Raiden's temple, which turns out to be a place to train combatants for the tournament. So because of that, the three complete friends travel to... Actually, they never specify where they go to, so... Nevada? Home of Desperado Dan's Murder Emporium in Krankateria! Stay until the health inspector finds out who's in the chili! So Cole gets another scorpion dream as they wander the desert until they arrive to meet Liu Kang, who proceeds to shoot Kano with fire because he's the comic relief, meaning he's gonna get beaten up the most. Liu Kang then takes them all to the secret temple as we learn that Jax is still alive and is getting new arms in the process. Then they meet up with Raiden himself, who basically goes, "Great, so this is our mighty protectors, huh? A washed up fighter, doesn't count, and a bum. God, we're fucked. Okay, go on and train if you think you can actually survive this mess. I'm gonna see if I can get the insurance money after this realm blows up." Then, while everything has now settled down for a bit...
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Then Liu Kang and Sub-Zero fight it out, with the Ice Ninja getting the upper hand. But before Liu Kang could get ice picked, he is then saved by the arrival of Kung Lao. And as they prepare to fight, Shang Tsung enters the temple and goes, "Look, I know that you're gonna lose badly. So let's just cut the middleman and give me your souls, okay?" Then Raiden arrives to say, "Nuh-uh." Then summons a rain of thunderbolts to separate the factions, which causes Shang Tsung to declare, "The fuck you mean, nuh-uh? Fine, whatever. Prep to eat dirt for all I care. Later, losers." Well, that was a part of the movie. Glad to learn that Shang Tsung is a dick. Valuable knowledge to know again. Thank you, movie. So now we see everyone train, with the biggest highlight being that Liu Kang constantly sweeps down Kano while mimicking the same animation as in the games, which is cute, but therein lies a big problem. Both the fighting and the references to the games are really the only interesting part of this film. When it comes to the characters, oh boy. When the film came out, people complained about Cole Young being a very bland and boring character, which is true, but is not the main issue of this film. No, it's not because Cole Young is a very boring character. It's that the majority of the characters are just as bad as Cole Young. Most of the cast have little to nothing going on with them, and stuff like Cole being related to Scorpion and Sonya being in Special Forces feel more like stats on a trading card more than anything. Plus, characters are just in serious mode for the majority of this film, while speaking in exposition or confusion to hopefully get said exposition. Not to mention that these guys are basically being dragged around the plot with no motivation to keep them going besides, "We are destined to save the world, I guess." Going back to the first movie, the three main leads had their own personal reasons on why they're joining the tournament, which are basically vengeance, and publicity stunt. But in this film, yeah, their reason is because we gotta, which pair them with their personality, it really makes them fun that we have to follow them around. There is, however, two exceptions in this film. Those being Sub-Zero, who is basically if the Terminator fucked Mr. Freeze, and of course, Kano, who is designated as the comic relief. Meaning that he's actually allowed to be fun and engaging in a movie full of butterless toast, making him probably the best part of the film. Hell, when he's around, he makes everyone better. Now, people can actually be silly and make funny jokes at his expense. But you know, it's too bad that we know he's gonna be a villain at some point, especially if you played the games at all, or remember the fact that he's a criminal in a gang of do-gooders, in a film where killing is the whole shebang. But you know what? That's fine. Because I still got this band-aid if he needs it. I sure do hope he likes bubble guppies. Anyway, back to the film where Cole gets his ass handed to him. Again. Then he gets a pep talk from Liu Kang, while Sonya is pep talking Jax with his very skinny robo-arms. They're so skinny. Then afterwards, we cut to everyone having dinner as Liu Kang and Kung Lao are provoking Kano, which in turn helps him unlock his ability of eye lasers. And look at him, he's so happy. It's gonna be sad when he turns evil and dies. So then we cut back to more training as Cole continues to suck at fighting, which causes Raiden to say, "So you haven't even found your ability yet? God, you're useless. I thought the fact that you were related to Scorpion would have made you cool. But I guess that ain't it, Chief. So go, get out of here. Go back to your family. They're all you've been talking about since you got here. It's driving me nuts." So Cole goes home to his family as we cut to Outworld, with Shang Tsung summoning his minions of Sub-Zero, Mileena, Cabal, Natara, that's a deep pull, and who's that? Hold on a second. Wait a minute, that's Reiko? As in, the dude whose whole deal was that he really wanted to sit on Shao Kahn's throne and wear his helmet. That Reiko? Why that loser? Anyway, Shang Tsung goes, "Fuck the rules. Let's just go in and kill them now." As we then cut back to Raiden's temple as Cabal is having a meeting with Kano. As Cabal states, "Dude, you're a villain. Just join the bad guy side already. This film ain't gonna throw any curveballs and make you a hero." And Kano responds to that with, "Bet," and breaks the barrier, allowing Shang Tsung and the others to pass through. Meanwhile, we cut back to Cole as he hears some strange noises in his barn, only to be revealed to be fucking Goro. Oh, he's fucked! So now everyone is in a scramble to fight, with Cole Young getting his ass handed to him by a literal brick shithouse. Meanwhile, on the other side of the spectrum, Kung Lao takes out Natara effortlessly and finishes her off by doing the Kung Lao thing. However, the Kung Lao thing is the only thing he does. So... Anyway, back to Cole eating shit. The dude gets knocked out, then Goro decides to turn his sights to his family. And then, with all the hints and foreshadowing that we've seen, Cole rises and transforms into a guy with body armor that can absorb hits and then rebound them. He's just Japanese Black Panther. So the whole Scorpion thing doesn't matter in this situation, huh? This is our hero. His whole thing is that he's the family man. Yay! So Cole gets actual plot armor as he then goes on to kill Goro. Outworld's strongest champion is now dead. Well, this tournament's gonna be easy now. Especially since Jax now gets his superpower in the form of... tech arms. Magic tech arms! However, not all is well, as our heroes must retreat out of there, but not before Shang Tsung grabs a hold of Kung Lao. And as Cabal weirdly states...
He's about to get his soul sucked.
And that's what exactly happens. And really, this is what you get when you're a one-trick pony. So, bye Kung Lao. So, with the death of Kung Lao, all seems lost. But then Cole comes in to say, "But what if we could?" Just what if we could? And then they decide to take on all the Outworld combatants one by one. That means we're getting back-to-back fight scenes in pretty cool set locations, not gonna lie. So the lineup is Sonya vs Kano, Jax vs Reiko, Liu Kang vs Cabal, and Cole vs Mileena, with every single one of them ending in... Also, Sonya has superpowers after killing Kano. Well, there goes the fun in this film. But while everyone is winning their respective battles, except for Cole, Sonya had to come in and save that one, Sub-Zero comes in and reveals that he kidnapped Cole's wife and daughter and baits him to follow the Ice Mim... Why did I put Ice Mimja in the script? What the fuck? Anyway, he follows the Ice Mimja into the frozen factory. So now it's Cole versus Sub-Zero. And Cole gets his ass handed to him. Is that any news to you? It isn't to me. And now with Cole's back against the corner, how is he gonna get out of this one? Trick question, he doesn't. Instead, Scorpion shows up unannounced. How? Well, I think it's because Cole had the dagger and he bled on it, which I think that was the point of the flashbacks, to summon him? You know, I had to look that one up. It probably wasn't that good of foreshadowing. But what is good is the fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. This was by far the best moment in the movie, where both these characters show off their skills and pizzazz that almost made it worth it sitting through this entire film. Keyword being almost. Heck, even Cole gets to do some cool stuff. This was good. This was a good fight. But after a pretty dope battle, Sub-Zero goes down and Scorpion finishes him off by doing the Scorpion thing. Oh. I don't think the Bubble Guppy's Band-Aid's gonna help with this one. But it can sure try! So now, Sub-Zero is plain Zero, Cole's family is free, Scorpion goes, "You did good, kid." Before fading, everyone shows up to celebrate, Shang Tsung comes in to go, "I'll get you next time, gadget!" before swooping into the darkness with all the dead bodies. Then the film ends with Cole in his lockers talking about how he's gonna go to Hollywood to find someone, as the camera pulls out to show us that Johnny Cage is coming. Man, that's all I have to say about Mortal Kombat 2021. Overall, This wasn't a bad film per se, but it wasn't a good one either. There are some clear strengths. The fight scenes were intense and exciting. The set pieces were top-notch. There were some cool references to the games, and yeah, it was pretty satisfying to finally get the signature fatalities on the silver screen. But the characters themselves were a plank of mahogany, besides Kano, of course, and the story felt very so-so. It's a film that has some good moments, but the weaknesses outweigh its strengths. And to me, this really felt like a film that only Mortal Kombat fans would find okay at best. Hopefully the sequel will improve on things, whenever that comes out, and hopefully it won't be weird seeing Bones McCoy as Johnny Cage. I have never seen The Boys, so overall this was And by all means, that is the last official live-action fighting game movie. As of yet. Which should mean that this is the end of the marathon, right? I mean, the next MK and even the announced Street Fighter films aren't out yet and won't be enough to make a full marathon out of. The other fighting game movies are, well, animated. And, well, there's Double Dragon, but that's a beat-em-up, so that doesn't count. So, by all means, this should be the end of the marathon, and I should just say thank you all for watching, right? Wrong. Because what I said was, this was the last official live-action fighting game movie. Because what if I told you I found something a little off the record, a little out of state, a little bit bootlegged? Like and subscribe if you want. Have a nice day, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care.